guys, today we are going to learn about what is list in HTML. We already discussed what is HTML and what is block level and line element. So today we are going to learn about what is the list and how we can write a list in HTML with the help of HTML. So I'm creating one file. So we can give it a file name like list.html. So here I'm using VS Code extension. So control and exclamatory symbol we can press and plus enter, so it will add the entire code snippet of HTML. Then now I need to write a list in HTML. So in HTML having we can write in list in a two ways, like order list and unordered list. First we are going to learn about what is order list in HTML and how we can return and which are the tags we use for writing list in HTML. Okay. So now I'm writing an order list. So if I want to write order list, okay. So if I want to write an order list, so we need to use UL tag for an order list, and in that UL tag we need to use li tag. With the help of li tag, we can define a list in HTML. So suppose first here I am using h2 tag for heading purpose. Suppose name of the colors, name of the colors. Suppose red, and here I am using suppose yellow. Yellow, red, green, and one more suppose pink. So here I have used UL tag. So UL means unordered list. So with the help of UL tag we can define unordered list. We can save this file and open with live server. It will open that file inside the browser. Okay, 1 minute. So now I have used live server. Sorry, 5 server. So that's why it is opening like this. Otherwise you can use live server. Here it is a live server. So now we use unordered list means a UL tag, and in that we have mentioned li tag. So that's why it is by default it has a bullet. So that's why it is showing like this. We can check which type of CS property it is using. So that's why it is behaving like this. Yeah. List style type as a disk. By default that list style type is a disk, so that's why it is showing fill black colors. This circle filled with black color, so that's why it is showing like this, because UL tag has one property, CSS inbuilt property like list style type disk. So that's why it is by default showing like this list elements. Suppose I want to change this list style type with the help of HTML. So we can mention one property like type in a UL. Suppose I want to pass circle. that type is a circle, so it will show like this. Otherwise we can use square also. So with the help of type attribute, we can also means suppose I want to change that this type list which property list style type. Okay. So if I don't want to use any CSS, without using CSS, if I want to change the type, so we can use type attribute. So with the help of type attribute, we can change that type of style. So by default, it has a disk style, list style type as a disk. Okay. And suppose we can also create a nested list also. Suppose okay, red. Suppose here I want to create one more nested list, so we can create UL tag, and in that I will use red. Suppose we can change. Okay, so here I want to list I want to show list for a suppose uh, front end technologies. It is not related to each other, just for example understanding I am giving this example. Front end technologies. Here I need to use h2 tag because I want to show heading. So this heading I need to use here, and here this list elements. So suppose HTML, then HTML CSS, then JavaScript and React. So with the help of like this, we can also showing nested list. Suppose in HTML I want to show some HTML topics. Suppose so here with the help of UL tag we can use align tag, and here suppose I'm adding like HTML introduction. Second list element like inline and block level element. Inline and block level. Inline and block element, suppose. Okay, and here suppose list element. List. Then suppose after that list HTML5 tag. Okay, so we can show like this using. So here we can use by default we can use nesting, means only 3 times. Like first will by default it will select type as a disk, means like that circle filled with black color, then that empty circle, and last it's square. So that's why by default it is applying, because we haven't mentioned any type as a disk, square, and like circle. So by default it is taking circle and square. Suppose I am changing that type as a disk. So now it will add that HTML element type as a disk here, because first it is showing square. It is showing square. First it is showing in square. Now because we now it is showing that circle filled with black color, because now we have mentioned that type as a disk, so that's why it is showing like this. So with the help of type property we can change that list style type. And one more property we can also use for like, okay, an order list. So we can use for like order list. So how we can define an order list? So we can say an order list example. We can use h2 tag for heading. Order list elements, order list. Same like if I want to define like and write an order list, so we can use ol tag for defining order list element, and in that we can mention ally tag. Suppose order list, okay. So here I am giving example like suppose item 1, item 2, item 1. We can give 4 items, item 1, then item 3 and 4. And so by default when we use order list, so it has a by default some property, css property, so it will add that elements in a order list. We can see here. So now it is by default it has a order list, like that style type is like, we can check here, right click and inspect. We can check ol tag. So here list style type as a decimal, so that's why it is by default adding 1 2 3 4, that item in a, it is adding in sequence like 1 2 3 4. Suppose here I want to change that type, so we can use that type property. Suppose I want to show in a ABCD manner, so so we can mention in a string like A, so it will add that value in a sequence like ABCD. Suppose I want to start from like start. So here I am mentioning start as a 4, means that last value D. So that's why it is starting from D, F, G. Suppose here I am passing capital A. So now it will add that value from like D, F, G, because I have mentioned here 4. Suppose I am removing this start property. So it will add from like A, B, C, D in a capital, because we have mentioned that type like capital U. And suppose Roman value like small I. So it will add like this in a Roman, otherwise capital I. Like this. Means with the help of order list we can define this element in a order. So we can say an order list means unordered list items do not have any numeric, then we can say alphabetic sequence. Instead it has a bullets, so we can say it is an unordered list. And order list means we can say in order list elements and item has a some numeric or alphabetic sequence, so that elements we can say, or that list elements we can say order list element. So like this. And suppose here okay, so now we are creating table. So what is, how we can create a table in HTML, that example also we are seeing. So here I am creating one more file like table.html. So what is table? So table, we can say like it is a collection of rows and columns. So for defining table, we can use we need to use rows and we need to define rows and columns. So how we can write a table in HTML? So we in if I want to define it, if I want to write a table in like I want to show in a data in a table format, so we can use some tags like table, tr, td, th. So okay. So first we need to use table tag. Then we need to use, we can also use th, t head and t body. In HTML, sorry, in React we need to write here. If I haven't mentioned, it is also fine. Then table row. So using tr tag we can define a table row, and here I need to define heading. So for table heading we use th tag, and in that suppose I want to define table heading lines, 4 table heading I need to define. So we can use this th tag 4 times. Suppose student id, then first name, then last name, student id, first name, last name, and suppose marks. So for now I need to define data for this table heading. So we need to create one more tr tag, and in that we need to use if I want to add some data. So we need to use td tag, means if I want to define any table data, means I need to mention any data inside the table. So we need to use tag like td tag. So here now first I need to define student heading, suppose, sorry, a student id, then again one more td, and in that I need to add first name. Suppose we can add abc, then last name, okay, suppose apurva, and last name like suppose Modi, and marks we can add suppose 87. So I need to copy this data 4 times because I want to add 4 records in a table. Okay, so we can just change that id. Suppose Jadam 89 3, name, first name like Aditi, suppose, and marks like suppose 90. and ID, like suppose now phone, like suppose Ravina. Surname can keep it as same like More. Okay, so we can open this with live server. So we can use 5 server extension also, and also live server for showing this data. So now whatever data we have added, it is showing in a table format. By default it is not add any it will not add any border and like similar like table. So we need to use some CSS. There is no any way to add we need to design table with the help of HTML. So we need to use some CSS. So here we can how we can write a CSS. So we need to use style tag. Table row, then TD and TH. So here I want to add a CSS property like border 1 pixel solid gray, and one more property table. So border collapse, border collapse like collapse, then width like 70%, okay. So now suppose I want to add some padding in a TD and TH tag. Padding we can add suppose 10 pixel and 20 pixel. Okay, and suppose I want to add margin auto. Okay, so now we have created table with the help of we can use 20 here also. TD and TH. Okay, so we have created table using some CSS properties. So if I want to create any table, so we can create like this using table tag tr tag we are using for defining row, table row, for table row, and th with the help of th tag we can define table heading, means like this student ID, first name, last name, and marks, and like table row tr same td for like whatever th head we have mentioned. So as per that th head we need to mention some data with the help of td tag. So okay guys, thank you.